Finding the right beta readers is just as important as having them in the first place. The wrong beta readers can give you unhelpful, vague, or even misleading feedback, but the right beta readers, they'll help you see your book through fresh eyes and make it so much stronger before you seek out an agent or publish. But it can be overwhelming to figure out where you find them, if you need to pay them, and how to make sure they're a good fit. So let's dive into part 2 in my series on beta readers. Let's start with one of the burning questions I get all the time as a book coach, which is, should you pay beta readers? Short answer, you can, but you don't have to. There are beta readers out there who volunteer because they love books, want to help authors, and enjoy getting to see their books in the earlier stages of the process. That being said, I personally feel like it's always nice to compensate someone for their time, especially when they are doing something so meaningful for your book. You don't have to get crazy here. Even a small fee can make beta reading a more enticing process and can result in higher quality feedback. You can also consider doing beta reader swaps. That way you can each get something out of the process. However, there are times when seriously paying for beta reading makes sense. If you have hard to reach readers, if you need feedback from kids for like a middle grade book, or niche readers like a specific demographic, paying may be necessary. Another reason you may pay is if you're feeling seriously stuck with your story and you know something is off but you can't identify what. Paying for a higher quality service often brings more structured and detailed feedback. Another reason is maybe you just don't have time to comb through and seek out free beta readers, and finding a service would be less stressful and save you time. Like many things in life, this is about weighing our most valuable resources, and you get to choose between time or money. An important tip here is whether you decide to pay them or not, it's always nice to give your beta readers a free copy of your finished book as a thank you, and a signed copy is even better. Okay, now time for another hot topic question, which is where do you actually find beta readers? Finding beta readers isn't just about where you look, it's about choosing the right place based on what you need. So let's break down the pros and cons of each of the different options. First is online writing communities. These include Reddit, like our beta readers, Discord servers, writing forums, and Facebook groups dedicated to beta reading. One of the biggest benefits of online writing communities is access to a large number of potential beta readers. There are always writers looking for beta swaps, so it can be a great place to find people willing to read your book. Many of these groups encourage ongoing discussion as well, so if you join a Discord server or an active forum, you can engage with beta readers more directly and get more detailed feedback sometimes. But the downside is that the quality of feedback can vary. Some beta readers will be more experienced than others, and you may need to sort through responses to find the best ones. Another challenge is that not all beta readers will follow through. Some may disappear partway through the book or never give feedback at all. If you're using a large forum like Reddit, your request might get buried as well, so you may need to post multiple times or engage actively in the community to get responses. Online writing communities are best for writers looking for free beta readers and who don't mind sorting through different levels of experience. Next, you could go to social media like Instagram or X, and you can post about your project and also find beta readers using hashtags like hashtag writing community, hashtag amwriting, or hashtag beta readers. And one of the major advantages to social media is that you can connect with readers who follow you already and are interested in your book. If you've built a following, you might already have potential beta readers in your audience, which is pretty cool. Another benefit is that posting about your book helps you gain visibility. Even if someone doesn't volunteer as a beta reader, they might be interested in your book later. The writing community on social media is pretty active and supportive. Many writers are happy to exchange beta reads or recommend good readers. However, a downside is that social media can be hit or miss. Some people will volunteer, but again, not actually follow through. And if you don't already have a following, finding beta readers might be more difficult for you, and you'll need to engage with the community and make connections before you start asking for beta readers. And don't forget that some people just want free books and won't give useful feedback, so make sure you're choosing your readers who genuinely want to help improve your book. Social media is best for writers who already are active online and want to build an audience while looking for beta readers. Next, let's talk about beta reader platforms. These are websites like SpunYarn, betareader.io, and Critique Circle, and they are specifically designed to connect writers with beta readers. One of the biggest benefits of these platforms is that they are designed specifically for beta reading. That means the expectations are clear from the start and readers know what kind of feedback they should provide. Some platforms offer structured feedback forms. This can be really helpful because it ensures that you get detailed and useful responses instead of vague opinions. Using a platform also gives you access to readers outside of your personal network, which means you can get more objective and diverse feedback. The downside is that some platforms charge a fee or require a swap system. If you're not willing to pay or critique someone else's work, you may need to look elsewhere. The quality of the feedback also depends on the reader's experience. Some beta readers may give thoughtful, detailed responses, while others might only provide a few sentences of feedback. These platforms offer less personal interaction compared to critique partners or writing groups, and you may not get as much back and forth discussion about your book. I believe these platforms are best for writers who want structured feedback and are willing to use a platform to find them, which also tends to save you time. Next, we have local writing groups and workshops. These are usually in-person critique circles and writing groups, and they can be a great place to find beta readers as well. One of the major benefits of local writing groups is that you can have face-to-face discussions, and this often leads to more detail and thoughtful feedback. Another advantage is that you can build long-term relationships with other writers. A good writing group can be a great source of support throughout your writing career. Many writers in these groups are already familiar with storytelling techniques, and their feedback might be more structured and useful compared to casual readers. The biggest downside is that your options are limited to who's available locally. So if you live in a small town, you may not have many options for writing groups. And some groups focus more on critique partnerships rather than beta reading. So while critique partners are great, they serve a different purpose than beta readers. And if you're confused about the difference, check out part 1 of the series where I break that down. Another thing is your local group may not always align with your target audience. So if you're writing fantasy, but your group is full of memoir writers, their feedback might not be as useful. Local writing groups and workshops, I believe, are best for writers who want ongoing support and prefer in-person feedback. And of course, you have your personal network. This means asking friends and family to beta read your book. And generally, I recommend staying away from this option. The biggest advantage of using your personal network is that it's the easiest option. You don't have to search for beta readers because they're already in your life. Friends and family already care about and want to help you, which means they might be more willing to read your book and finish it quickly. They may be more invested in your book than a random beta reader. If they love your writing, they'll be excited to help you improve it. But the biggest problem with personal networks is that many people won't be honest enough. Friends and family don't want to hurt your feelings, so they might say they love your book even if they see issues. And if they don't read in your genre, their feedback might not be useful. A friend who only reads nonfiction may not know what makes a great fantasy novel. It can lead to awkward conversations if they give feedback that is negative. If your best friend says they don't like your book, it could create a little bit of tension in your relationship as well. Personal networks are best for writers who have trusted friends who are both honest and part of their target audience. So there is no single perfect way to find beta readers. Many writers often use a combination of online communities, social media, and beta reader platforms. You can experiment with different methods and see what works best for you. I'm curious, have you used a beta reader before? And if so, where did you end up finding them? Drop your recommendations in the comments to help out the other writers here. Okay, so now we know where to go to find them, but how do you actually choose the right readers from this pool? Not every beta reader will be helpful, so it's important to be selective. A great beta reader should challenge you, help you improve, and give you useful feedback without making the process miserable. So here are a few things to look out for. 1, they read in your genre. If your book is sci-fi thriller, a reader who only enjoys contemporary romance will not be able to give you useful feedback. They might not understand tropes, pacing, or world building that your target audience expects. That doesn't mean you have to exclude all outside perspectives, but your core beta readers should be familiar with your genre so their feedback aligns with what real readers will think. A red flag is a beta reader who dislikes or doesn't understand your genre, and they may give unhelpful feedback like, I didn't get why there were aliens in this book. Why was that necessary? You need to find someone that provides honest, constructive feedback. You want to make sure your readers are telling you the truth, but in a way that actually helps you. There's a balance between giving vague feedback like, I liked it, and brutally harsh criticism like, this is awful. Good beta readers should point out problems without tearing you down. They should explain why something isn't working, offer solutions or suggestions when possible. A red flag is a beta reader who only gives positive feedback and may be too nice to tell you what needs work. On the flip side, someone who's overly negative without being constructive can kill your motivation. You want to also find someone that understands what you're trying to do. Every book has a specific tone, goal, audience, and you need to get readers who understand that. For example, if you're writing a gritty, dark thriller, but your beta reader only enjoys lighthearted, feel-good stories, then they might struggle to engage with your book in the way that it's intended. A great beta reader will judge your book based on what it's trying to be, not what they personally prefer. A red flag is a reader who keeps suggesting you change the genre, tone, or style instead of working with what you've already established. You'll want diverse perspectives, but not too many voices. Getting a mix of perspectives is great. It helps you catch issues that you might have missed. For example, a mix of genders, backgrounds, and reading experiences can help identify blind spots. If your book has a representation of a group you don't belong to, you have someone from that group as a beta reader is incredibly valuable. That said, you don't want too many opinions at once. If you have 20 beta readers all giving feedback, it can be overwhelming and even contradictory. So a small diverse group is usually better than a massive one. You want readers who are timely and reliable. Beta reading is a commitment, and you need people who will actually finish your book and provide feedback in a reasonable time frame. Some dropouts are expected, but a beta reader who disappears for months or never follows through at all slows down your revision process. So when setting up beta reading, it helps to set clear deadlines. So I love your feedback by X date. Check in periodically to make sure they're on track, or perhaps recruit more readers than you need since some will naturally drop out. Okay, here comes the tough question. How many beta readers do you actually need? And unfortunately, there's no one size fits all answer to this. It depends on your book, your publishing path, and how much feedback you can realistically handle. However, there are some general guidelines. So if you're traditionally publishing, I would say 3 to 5 beta readers should be enough. Beta readers are mostly there to give early impressions and help you catch big picture issues before you submit to agents or publishers. If you're self-publishing, 10 to 15 beta readers, ideally in different stages. Since you are responsible for all the revision, it helps to get more perspective. A recommended way to break this down would be an early round, which is a small group of 5 to 7 readers to catch major structural issues, and then a final round or another batch of 5 to 8 readers to refine details and ensure the book is ready. Pro tip here, too much feedback can be overwhelming, especially if opinions conflict. The key is to look for patterns, so if multiple readers flag the same issue, that's a sign it probably needs fixing. Some writers prefer a smaller focus group, while others like a variety of opinions. So experiment and see what works best for you. And finally, I wanted to say that not all beta readers are helpful. So here are some types of readers who probably won't help your book. The too nice reader, if they love everything, they won't give their criticism and their feedback won't help you improve. The brutally harsh reader, feedback should be constructive, not soul crushing. If they make you feel like quitting, that's not helpful. The rewriter, some beta readers try to rewrite your book instead of critiquing it, like changing genres or adding in a subplot that you have no interest in. You want feedback, not a ghostwriter. The flake, if they disappear or take forever to respond, it slows down your process. Beta readers can greatly help your book, but you need to choose wisely. If this video helped, I'd love if you hit that notification bell for more writing tips. Thank you for watching and happy writing.